Hey everybody, it's the Friday afternoon rant. Um, One thing I always find weird is in Tennessee, a lot of homes are on crawl spaces, which is a foundation where there's a cavity underneath the floor, between the floor and the earth, where you run your HVAC ducts and your plumbing pipes. It's different than a slab or a basement, but it's a crawl space, very common in Tennessee and most southern states. Sometimes those crawl spaces have moisture problems, or sometimes people just want to improve the quality of them, so they encapsulate them, where they run a company, a foundation contractor comes in, they run a 20 millimeter or 20 mil thick rubber membrane. Usually, I mean, there's different types, a dehumidifier. They seal it off from the outside world, climate control it. Wonderful systems. Actually, it makes for a very nice crawl space. A lot of times they're installed to handle moisture or water management. Usually they run $10,000 to $20,000+ for this system, depending on how it's installed. One bizarre thing I always find, though, not always, I would say 9 out of 10 times when I find one of these systems installed, is on the exterior of the home, nothing was done to prevent the problem that was happening in the first place. So on the exterior, we still have downspouts discharging right on the foundation, or downspouts not extended at all. We have negative grading, or where the earth is actually sloping towards the foundation. Condensate from your HVAC draining right on the foundation. Gutters too small. All these are actually simple fixes compared to a $20,000, encapsulation system. I'm not saying the encapsulation system wouldn't be needed even if those things were done, but I mean, would it make more sense to fix the water on the outside to prevent it from coming in than to start at the most extreme and then still allow the water in? It always just baffles me on why I see this so often. And maybe the clients, when the contractor brought it up to them, we need to fix these things on the outside, and they said no. I find it hard to believe they wouldn't put $8. They didn't want to spend $8 on downspout extensions, but they spent $8,000 on and some encapsulated system to the crawl space. But it's just bizarre. So if you're going to encapsulate your crawl space, I think they're wonderful systems. I do recommend them. But also make sure you start on the outside and get your grading correct and your downspouts correct first, before you go to adding a sump pump and an encapsulation system, because I mean, it makes much more sense to keep that water out of your crawl space system than to handle it after it came in. And that's not the only reason for crawl space encapsulation. It's nice to have a nice climate controlled system underneath your home, but yeah, 9 times out of 10 I find nothing was done on the outside, and probably most of the reasons the crawl space even got the homeowner wanted it encapsulated with moisture problems and water coming in, none of it was addressed. They encapsulated it and then added a sump pump, but simple fixes were just, I don't know, just overlooked, ignored. I did a house the other day, there was no downspouts on the gutters. I thought it was a joke. I walked around, the house was almost 20 years old. Nobody noticed over 20 years, their original gutters, that the gutter contractor never came back when they were installing and added downspouts. So all the gutters were capped on both ends and they just overflowed every rain. And the home had probably a $25,000 plus crawl space encapsulation system, because they had said they're having water problems on their crawl space. All right, that's all I have. That's my Friday rant. Make sure, if you're going to get your crawl space fixed with water problems, start on the outside, then work in. Thank you so much.